It's Davos. It's 2026. I'm Edie Lush here in the Hub Culture Chalet Studio. Very pleased to be here with Nicole Rycroft. How are you?
Great. It's a beautiful day.
I know, and it's pretty warm in here, right?
It's toasty.
So you're the founder and executive director of Canopy. Tell me about Canopy. You've got a Philanthropy Award from the World Economic Forum this year. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So Canopy is a solutions-driven NGO, and we work to transform supply chains that currently drive deforestation and forest degradation.
So tell me about that. What are the supply chains you're particularly targeting?
Yeah, so we focus particularly on the supply chains that are derived from pulp products. So a forest is logged and the tree is sent to a pulp mill and broken down and then made into things like paper, packaging, or wood-based textiles like rayon and viscose. And we work with about 1,000 large corporate customers of those products to provide the economic incentives for there to be a change in business as usual back through those supply chains.
Tell me about some of the brands you're working with.
So we work with pace setters like Stella McCartney, big retailers like H&M and Zara Intertex, Walmart, publishers like Penguin Random House and Scholastic. So quite an array.
Interesting. Let's talk about fashion.
Yep, sure.
I love fashion.
Okay,
Tell me about the
excellent.
biggest challenges, and tell me a little bit about the solution that you're working with on some of these with these companies.
Sure. So most people will be completely unaware that there are 300 million trees that are cut down every year to make textiles and made that are designated as viscose or rayon.
I did not know that.
Right? So suit jacket linings, underwear, dresses, anywhere you see viscose, rayon, modal, that is coming from a forest ecosystem. It's an aggressive growing threat to forest ecosystems. And so we've been working with brands to help basically build a fence at the top of that cliff rather than a hospital at the bottom, which is so often the case with environmental issues. You're trying to do triage after the effect. So we work with about 550 brands. Now, when we first started, nobody really had a clear line of sight of where their viscose textiles were coming from. But now we work with 550 brands. They represent about $1 trillion in annual revenues, so significant market influence. And they have consistently engaged their supply chain. And we now have more than 70% of global viscose producers that have shifted to ensure that they're sourcing from low-risk forest sources, and are now starting, I think this is the more exciting part, and now starting to really explore the use of non-wood alternative inputs.
Interesting. First, talk about the lower risk supply sources of the forest. What does that look like?
Sure, it means not making sure that the wood that they're using in their production for t-shirts and little black dresses doesn't come from a high carbon, high biodiversity value forest, that it's coming from areas that like are outside of those areas and are FSC or Forest Stewardship Council certified wood. But ultimately, the real kind of
goal
solution is to take the pressure off forest ecosystems because we need them for clean air and a stable climate and for precipitation cycles. And so the
life
on Earth, indeed. And so the off-ramp from being so dependent on forests is to actually scale these alternatives that we call next-gen solutions.
So talk about those. What are these next-generation solutions?
Yeah, so we mow down forests every year because we're looking for the cellulose. And that's what we use to make packaging and paper and viscose textiles. But cellulose is all around us. It's in plants. It's in the old cotton T-shirts that we throw out after it starts to get holes in it. It's in industrial food waste. And so every year there's 60% of the 100 billion items of clothing that are produced every year that ends up in landfill.
Right.
There's 500 million tons of straw that's burnt around the world. Those are fantastic inputs for making packaging and textiles, and they can displace the pressure off a third of the forests that are currently being logged.
What's the biggest challenge to scaling that up?
Well, we've done a lot of work on creating the market pull-through, creating the right market incentives for conventional producers as well as for innovators. And so now really we need to move the investment into the space. And we estimate between now and 2033, we need to mobilize about $80 billion, and that's billion with a B, into the infrastructure. It's quite a CapEx intensive sector. And so we're here in Davos partly to have conversations with investors that are looking to really have positive impact, both, competitive returns, but also, actually make a significant impact. And so we've both got a private equity fund that we're partnered in, as well as we're launching a $2 billion initiative, investment initiative focused on India that's anchored with a blended finance platform.
Interesting. And why India?
India's incredibly well positioned to be an early leader in next-gen production. It's already a textile production powerhouse. It's got an abundance of agricultural residues and textile waste, and so it's just very well positioned in terms of, the realignment of global economies to be at the fore of this new low-carbon supply chain.
Fantastic. Well, I look forward to staying in touch and hearing how things are progressing with these next-gen technologies.
Hopefully we'll have news sooner rather than later.
All right, Nicole, thank you very much for stopping by the Hub Culture studio here in
Edie.
Davos. I'm Edie Lush.